All right, joining us now, CTV News public safety analyst and former OPP Commissioner Chris Lewis. And Chris, you are in Mexico. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Is this making news where you are?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of expats here, a lot of Americans, a lot of Canadians. So it's been the talk of the town where I am. Some of the Mexican folks that I spoke to prior to today weren't confident that the government and the police would find Wedding. They were more convinced, because of a bit of lack of trust in government authorities on their behalf, that there'd be payoffs and he'd never turn up. But obviously, that's not the case, and everybody knows now that the government and the police cooperated and helped capture this guy.
What do you make of the post from the Mexican security minister saying that he voluntarily surrendered himself at the U.S. Embassy in Mexico City? What do you think that speaks to?
I don't know that it's entirely the way we're perceiving it yet. That there's two people that were brought back to the States in custody. So which one gave themselves up, if any did? I know the FBI director talked about the use of the FBI hostage rescue team, which is a paramilitary tactical team on steroids, basically, the best of the best. And if they were involved, that doesn't sound to me like somebody walked in and turned themselves in. But who knows? There's a lot of those details we don't know yet. And of course, certainly a lot of details about the future of Wedding, because if he's going to be tried in the U.S. and maybe serve time there, it may be a long time before Canadian authorities could ever extradite him back to Canada. But all that remains to be seen.
I do take your point on that, because they did talk about that hostage team from the FBI. And indeed, this post on X from the Mexican security minister does reference in particular a Canadian, I'm going to quote here, a Canadian citizen who voluntarily surrendered. This is a translation from Spanish. So there are some pieces still that need to come together. But if I may, Chris, I'd like to pivot you to what was the catalyst for this to begin with, because the political background to all of this was that Trump said to Sheinbaum not long ago, hey, we can come in and help you with your drug cartels. And she said, no, thanks, we've got this, essentially is what she said. Do you think that this is a result of political forces coming into play?
It may be. It's really hard to say. And it may be just the sign of better, stronger regimes here in Mexico, more in tune with trying to do things properly. I know the current president of Mexico has been very committed, at least publicly, to try and keep the number of people heading south into the southern U.S. illegally at a minimum, and they've put more people on the border security. So, I like to think positively, and that's just a potential, the way things are now and the way things are going to be for the foreseeable future. So fingers crossed that's the case.
When you're running a large transnational law enforcement operation such as this one, what might have been the role of the RCMP in this and the arrest?
Well, the RCMP would have controlled all the Canadian side of this investigation. I mean, ultimately, there was murders in the OPP area and Peel Regional Police area that are tied to Wedding. There's drug labs and seizures of drugs in Canada and intended to come to Canada. So there's potential charges there through the RCMP. So there's a lot of coordination there. And the U.S. aren't going to deal with every law enforcement agency in Canada. So the RCMP would be the conduit for any of that local or provincial type stuff. And that's great. And they would have provided intelligence information and all sorts of suspect information to the, and any tips they had, to the U.S. authorities who were also dealing with Mexico. And RCMP also have somebody in Mexico and in Colombia as well that look after liaising with police departments. So they'd had a significant role.
Chris, truly appreciate your perspective, specifically from Mexico on a day like today. Thank you for that.
Anytime. Thank you for having me.
CTV News public safety analyst and former OPP Commissioner Chris Lewis.